Hey, how y'all doing? This is Hunt 919 Truth Sports coming to you with another segment. Hopefully everybody's having a good day, so I want to get right into it. I have a message to send, and that's to the Colorado Buffs who are still in the transfer portal. And I know it can be frustrating at this point, but I got a couple of suggestions for you. I think it was about 16 Buffs that was still left in the portal. I think offensive lineman David Connor is with Liberty now, and I think Adam Hopkins, who's a cornerback, I think he's with Charlotte, either signed with Charlotte or was about to sign with Charlotte, or they're both showing interest in each other. So that leaves about 14 players left. The first thing for the ones who just left Colorado on their own, I know it's a little too late, but this is things that need to be thought about before you leave. First of all, think about your education. For instance, if you're at Colorado and you're going into the portal without a plan, a Colorado education is not a bad thing. So you got to start thinking about the education part of it, which is why you're there. I know the NFL is all great and everybody shoots for it, but one thing we promise our parents when we leave is what? We're going to get an education, get that degree, because that's the most important thing unless you do go to the NFL. So think about your education, think about the degree you're trying to get, and again, think about the promise that you made your mother. For the most part, especially the guys, we always tell our mom we're gonna get a degree. So there's nothing wrong with that. Another thing you need to remember is pace yourself. There's nothing wrong with not playing right out the gate. Pace yourself and be patient. So what, you went as a freshman and you didn't get real playing time until you became a junior. That's actually how we grew up. And I know everybody get tired of hearing back in the day, but you had to wait your turn. Either you were an outstanding freshman, let's say a Travis Hunter would play as a freshman in any time that he played, any year, etc. But if you're not an exceptional player, or even a freshman like Michael Jordan, if you're not to that level, then you just have to wait your turn because there's older guys in front of you. In some cases, they're better than you. So be patient and pace yourself, and deal with your expectations. You may not be a freshman All-American. That's okay. You can be a junior All-American. You can be a senior All-American. So there's no rush anyway, because football players can't leave until they're a junior anyway. The only time that the age is really looked at a player, which I think is wrong, is when guys are trying to go to the NBA. If you go as a junior or a senior, they kind of look you over. So take your time as a football player. There's nothing wrong with patience, and there's nothing wrong with pacing yourself. Stop looking for the NIL money. If you are good and you're productive, the NIL will find you. The coach will help you find an NIL. So you can't really worry about that if you're a player who's not playing or a player who's going into the portal, sitting in the portal. At the end of the day, it's about an education. Hopefully you can get your free education. I think even the walk-on rules they have now is basically it's an NIL deal where they'll get an NIL to pay for your education. So it's still like a scholarship. They becoming real tricky with that. So stop looking for NIL money. And if you're a Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders and you go into the portal, of course that's going to be a big part of it. But if you're just a regular player right now, haven't really made a big name for yourself, you need to get what you can get and don't worry about the NIL money. So another one of my suggestions, and the most important, this is really why I'm doing this, is come to East Carolina. Contact Coach Mike Houston. Who is Mike Houston? Mike Houston was coaching James Madison when they were winning everything. They won an FBS Bowl, and they also won the national title on that level. And we was able to get him after that. So he has a name for himself. He knows how to win. Now, we have struggled with him. We're 24-34 since he's been there at East Carolina. But we are in the American Conference. They are talking about eventually maybe going to the ACC. We have been ranked before, so there's a ranked program in the 70s, 2008, and 91. And then one of our highest ranks was number 9, I think, which was in the 90s. So we do have a ranked program, and when we put it all together, we were a bowl team. We were a bowl team back to back to back. And then we did some coaching changes that was unnecessary at that time, and we've suffered from it since. So It's something to look at. We also rank 195 out of 439 national schools as far as education is concerned. So we're right midway, 195 out of 439. I think Colorado was like 103 out of 439, if I'm not mistaken. We're also voted as one of the top 10 best tailgate crowds, meaning when the coach puts a good product on the field, there will be a sold-out stadium every Saturday that the games are there if you have a good team. The tailgating is always great. Sometimes the tailgating is too good. We have a little too much fun, and we end up watching the game from outside even though we've paid for the ticket. And I kind of hate that because I like going in and watching the live game. But sometimes you get so caught up in the tailgating outside that you don't even walk into the stadium. You start enjoying it with friends and some of the ex-players as you're sitting outside watching the game. So you're going to get good action. You're going to get a good crowd participation. It is a crowd who cares about the football program. The baseball program just won the AAC title. So we're waiting to see where they're going, and they're a national powerhouse every year. And we're trying to reestablish the basketball program again. So it'll be a good school for you. We have had 63 players that were drafted, and then we had a lot more who were signed to free agent deals. Some of the top players that you may know of is Zay Jones. I think he played for Buffalo for a while. You have Chris Johnson, one of the great running backs who put up a 2,000-yard season. You have David Garrard, who was a quarterback down at in Florida for a while. God, I can't think of the name. He played down in Florida. I remember in a minute. And then you have Leach, who was a fullback, and then you have Jeff Blake, who's a very famous name from East Carolina and in the pros. He was a quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. And David Garrard was with the it just had in my head and I forgot again. I'm sorry, you all. But those are some of the players, and those are some of the notable pros who Jacksonville Jaguars. That's where he played at. So we do have a good college program. We do to make some changes and some upgrades. I know we've been struggling at the quarterback position for a while. Our last quarterback he didn't get drafted, but he went in as a free agent. I don't know if he's still in the league now, but that was a couple of years ago. But come to East Carolina, you have a chance to go to the NFL, but you also have a chance to get you a good education, and we need players. So, again, you can give a call to East Carolina University at Mike Houston. They have no idea I'm doing this. I just want to see my program come back up. So check it out. And remember some of the important things, guys, when you're sitting in the portal. Remember, it's about your education first, getting you a degree first. Your experience is also important. And there's nothing wrong, again, with being patient and pacing yourself. Sometimes your greatness may come later. Your development may come later. So hang in there. Keep grinding. I'm pulling for the bus who are still in the portal, that they find them a home. And it's been Hunt 919 Truth Sports. Ride with me.